Hello, and welcome to Connecting Communities, the podcast that brings you insights and inspiration from the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading and beyond. We're here to explore how communities can come together to support the success of our children and families and to empower the parents, caregivers, educators, and organizations who care so deeply about them. Thank you for joining us on this journey. I'm Lori Miller. I'm a parent to a 7-year-old daughter and your host. Today, we're diving into an impactful initiative called Pop-Up Neighbor Through Laundry. Joining me is Kelly Karen Smith, a consultant with the Patterson Foundation, and later we'll hear from Jason Soul from the Laundry Project. Kelly, welcome. We're delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you, Lori.
How would you explain Pop-Up Neighbor Through Laundry to a child? I'd love to hear how I could best explain this to my daughter.
That's a great question. So I would explain it to a child as we all have to do laundry. It's important to have clean clothes. You can wash them in the sink or you can wash them other ways, but a washing machine and a dryer is the best way. So with Pop-Up Neighbor, the Patterson Foundation, the generosity of the Patterson Foundation, people will come in to the laundromat and they don't have to pay for their laundry. They don't have to pay for the laundry detergent. We have books there for children. We have snacks. So you would just tell your child, your daughter or son, that it's a party for strangers. And by the time you're done with your laundry, because laundry takes some time, an hour or so, you become friends. And you can learn so much about each other at a laundromat because all of us have that in common. We want to have clean clothes.
That was so beautifully put. I love a party with strangers who become community.
Yes,
and
friends.
And friends. So that's wonderful. Thank you. We are honored to have Jason Soul, a dedicated social entrepreneur and the visionary behind the Laundry Project with us. Jason, we'd love to hear about what inspired you to start the Laundry Project, and was there a particular moment or experience that made you realize that access to clean laundry was such a critical need?
Prior to this, I was a pastor. I was always prone to missional type work, so mission trips and things like that. I realized, we're passing neighborhoods in our own city to go to an airport to fly to a undeveloped country or a quote unquote third world country, and realizing that this neighborhood that I'm passing on the way to the airport in a lot of ways is just as bad off or struggling as the place I'm about to go to, but we don't do anything for that. And I went to Southern California. I was with a group of people in Southern California. There's some friends out there and some people that at the time working with homeless individuals in various ways. And I went with them to take a couple of these guys to wash their clothes at a laundromat. And because that was the thing that they needed that day. Family I ended up talking to that just there with their kids, and they're trying to get stuff done and wrangle their kids while they're washing their clothes. And the story basically they told me, the key thing that stood out to me was they were bypassing buying groceries that week to wash their clothes. That was their choice. And not that I was unaware of poverty and all those things, but I'd never heard it in that very specific terms of, we are choosing either to buy groceries or wash our clothes. And that broke my heart. And for me, it was that is not a choice that's not a choice a parent should have to make. That's not a choice that a child should have to experience that their parents are making. It instantly put me back into that kind of elementary, middle school era of recognizing when I was a kid, these kids that would get picked on for being dirty, seemingly dirty, just disheveled, not put together well. And those two things directly correlated for me of, that was most likely the situation that these kids were in. So their families couldn't afford it. They didn't have the resources, whatever. And so they're just coming to school with whatever they have. And some of the times that's dirty, and recognizing all the layers of what that does for personality and, our outlook on the world, life, ourselves, all of that. And so when I came back to Tampa, that it kind of triggered, okay, if we don't do anything else, what I want to do is figure out how to help people with this financial and logistical issue of washing their clothes on a regular basis. And that's what kind of spurred it for me.
Wow, that's so amazing. And
Yeah.
the self-confidence that goes way beyond just clean clothes is really impactful. The confidence, the way that it affects attendance and school readiness and the other kids, and beyond just the financial burden, there's transportation issues. There's a lot of barriers that people don't often think through when they're just thinking about something that may be very simple in their own lives, like laundry and fresh clothing.
Right. That affects everything. Mental health wise, it affects all. We tell kids all the time, you can be anything you want when you grow up. You apply yourself, study, read, all of those things. And it hit me like, how do I expect a kid to believe that when the thing that they're facing every day is looking at these outfits essentially on their dirty clothes, laying on their bed, and smell testing it of what smells the best that I can wear today because we can't afford to wash clothes. And that's, I don't expect a kid to be the greatest in the world if we can't look past he doesn't have clean clothes. The goal is we're turning a laundromat into a community center of hope. It's a community hub in a lot of ways. What I learned is that laundromats, much like a Starbucks or a coffee shop, whatever, that tends to become a community hub for people. Laundromats tend to be that way in a lot of neighborhoods as well. And so if we can during that space, all right, everything's free for you and it's taken care of. And while we're here are access to other things that you may not have the transportation or logistics to get downtown or across town, whatever it is, we're bringing them here to you because we want to turn this into a community center for you.
Kelly, I had the chance to attend my very first pop-up through laundry this past weekend and see you in action, and the energy was electric. It was like, as you said, like a party in the laundromat.
Yes.
And it really blew me away. For listeners that haven't been, can you walk us through what happens during one of these events?
Of course. So what happens is you walk in and we have a consultant, someone else that works on the team that greets you. Good morning, good afternoon, or guess what? We're having free laundry today. Some recall that from the past, but some, if they're first time, they're so excited. And we let them know, let us know your name. You can tell us name or you can think of another name. And we walk you to a certain washing machine. Now, so we can keep organized, we have a piece of tape that we put your name on the tape and put that right on the washing machine. And when the next person comes in, if that washing machine is full, we put number 2 name. So if it's John's first, then we have Lakeisha second. And then once John's laundry is done, we take John's tag and put it on the dryer, and Lakeisha moves up. But at the same time, more are coming in. Now, the laundromat is quite large, so that happens sometimes, but it does happen once the word gets out. We have a lot of laundry. They're all full, so we do put them in order. This way, everyone knows it's theirs, and quite frankly, you don't know where you put yours, because like one could be over here to the far right, the other one's on the high laundry, then one's around the corner, so that's helpful for the patrons. And we have the washing liquid, we have balance for dryers, we have anything you need that they have, and we're having conversation at the same time that's happening. And any question they have, because some we would ask, you want it warm, you want it cold, hot for your laundry. Some don't know. Most of them want real hot because now they're washing their clothes. And sometimes hot water costs a little bit more, and we're paying for it. So we want them to get the best, and if they didn't get it paid for, they push all their laundry in one. The sheets, the towels, the jeans, the baby clothes, because they can only afford one washing machine. We let them know, put the sheets over here, the towels, spread it out. Some of them will get 3 rather than 1, but they're not used to that. So that's a wonderful gift as well. And then it goes through, and as they're waiting, we're having conversation, we have snacks for them, and if you have a little one, they can come over to our library, and also we can go to our community connectors that are there. And All Faiths Food Bank generously gives bags of food that we can give out once they leave. So they come in, they get their laundry done, they have things during the day, and then when they leave, they get a treat as well.
It's amazing. It really is. And I saw so many happy kids there.
Yes.
There was a kid that was reading and playing teacher.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up.
It was adorable. And it was so sweet to see. And there were kids that probably didn't know each other that were interacting, and those little friendships were developing as well. And it was really beautiful to see it. And, it's such a heartwarming experience. I don't think that you could walk away from that event and not feel your heart smile.
Agreed. And one thing I want to tell you, Lori, time seems to stop. Like on Saturdays, people are rush. Let's get to the laundromat. Let's go to the grocery store, blah, blah, blah. You come in there and the energy is fast. But you don't know, like you're sitting there and you're washing your clothes and it's fun. Like you're not having to schlep your laundry. It's like, oh, it's so hot. Now someone else is coming, because everyone in there are doing the same thing, and we're all getting something. I don't want to call it free. We're all getting a gift, because it's not free, because we're getting a payback of so much more.
Jason, why the laundry project? Why do you believe that this initiative is so important?
Multiple reasons. One, laundry is one of the kind of key overlooked factors of everyone's life. We typically think in terms of when someone needs help, food and shelter are the kind of those stake poles, I guess you could say. Like those are the fence posts that we lean everything on, but that's not the end of it. Laundry affects everything that we do. Laundry, one, is physically, cleanliness, physical cleanliness. You can take a shower, but if you don't have clean sheets that you're sleeping in, or clean clothes, or clean underwear, all of those things, you need all of that. Cleanliness is, it affects everything. It affects our mental health, affects our physical health, affects the interactions that we have with people around us. It's a key to a lot of things, and it's just something we don't ever think about unless we run into a place where we don't have it. If your washer breaks down, then we start thinking about it a lot, because then it becomes like, oh man, how am I going to wash this? And the other reason I feel like it's important is because if you use a laundromat, which a lot of people have to, it's expensive. It's a financial struggle for a family that's already struggling financially. Not to mention all the logistics of getting there, transportation, the time you have to be there while you can't just leave it and come back to it. It is, the layers of it all affects every part of our life. And if you just removed that from everyone's life, so much of how we operate in the world would be so different.
This initiative is very important because anyone can walk through the door of Pop-Up Laundry, and they're coming from all walks of life. And some of them are coming in and they may have family in a different state. They don't have any friends. They may not have any family. But when they come in, we all become family, because we're talking through drying our clothes, folding our clothes, hauling in all the laundry. And it's kindness in that space, and love, and children are running around, and it's laughter. I've never seen, of all the pop-ups I've been, that people are in a bad mood. The mood may be, I'm tired because it's a Saturday morning, but by the time they come in and they're gifted 18 quarters per laundry, could be like $20 for laundry, $30. And some stories they've told me that they can have a sandwich other than peanut butter and jelly, or they can buy a Christmas or Hanukkah present because they didn't have the funds. So that's why it's very important. And that you learn. We also have community connectors that come. So we have All Faiths Food Bank that comes first 1,000 days. Different communities, we have books, as I told you, and some children don't have books. So we're just giving, and what we receive is the friendship and the love during that 2-4 hour block.
Over the course of doing this, do you have any stories that stand out that highlight the impact that you've seen?
Well, there are some heartbreaking stories, meaning someone can come in and their shoes are disheveled and they've been working outside in the mud, and those are their sneakers that they use, and that's all they have, because as we know, sneakers are pricey, like everything is pricey. And they take off their shoes or their work jacket and put that in the laundry, and they're, just in their socks, because they could not afford to wash everything. And then we just continue to have a conversation. And some people are veterans, some people are transplants from somewhere else. As you know, in Florida, so many people are from somewhere else, and you can have a connection with that. But then when they walk out, and this past Saturday, there was a woman that had a white jacket of her daughter's. And you talk about your daughter, you know how kids go out and they run and they play and they get dirty. This white jacket was almost black. And she washed it, and it was like brand new. And the daughter felt so proud. But the mom wasn't mad that the jacket was dirty. You know, it's
Right.
a white jacket, it gets dirty. We weren't mad that the gentleman came in and took off his work clothes and put it in, or if you're getting something from like a football team. So the stories of just seeing the transformation, not only of the people, but the transformation of the clothing, and that no one is judged. You just walk in, you tell us your name, we have food, we have resources, we have laughter, we have kindness. We say smiles and suds. That's what's happening throughout the day. Smiles and suds, and friendships that happen.
I love that. Smiles and suds. Great combo.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have any favorite stories or extra rewarding moments that have stuck with you over the years?
Oh man, yeah. There's one for sure. I mean, there's multiple. There's a variations of this kind of thing. A woman pulls in the parking lot. She gets out, and she's got, you know, a bottle of soap, maybe a bottle of bleach. Forget exactly what it was. My perspective is someone showing up for the project to get their clothes washed, and she walks up and she says, "Hey, you're Jason," whatever. I say, yeah. She hands me these 2 bottles, and she says, "I know you won't remember this, but I saw the news story that you were going to be here." She said, "Years ago, I was one of the customers in here that you helped with laundry.
Man.
And I saw the news story, and I wanted to contribute because I'm in a better spot than I was, whatever it was, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I wanted to give this to use for someone else today." And that was it. And she got back in her car and left. And it was mind blowing to me in the sense that's the first time that we had something like that happen, where so real that a person was like, I got helped and now I can help someone else, and I want to go contribute to that to help with that.
And now, big picture, small steps. If you had to summarize your hopes for the laundry project in a sentence or 2, what would it be, or what is your vision for the next 10 years?
Essentially, that every community that needs support of this level has it, wherever it is. Whether it's through us, through partners, whatever. I want every community that is struggling, that is a desert of some kind of resources, to have the ability to go to a laundromat and be able to wash their clothes and not have to be worried about it. I would love every community that needs help to have the help that they need.
Kelly, if you had to summarize your hopes for Pop-Up Neighbor Through Laundry in a sentence or 2, what would it be?
That anyone can be as generous as the Patterson Foundation. There are different levels, but if you have extra quarters, if you have an extra $5 or you see someone there, give them a roll of quarters. Like a pop-up laundry can happen anywhere. It can be in our 4 counties. It can be in New York when you're schlepping down. Help someone with their laundry, read to a child, or talk to the person next to you when you're at the laundromat.
Great advice. I really love that. Let's get into one small step for listeners who would like to get involved. What is one step that they could take today to help support this amazing initiative?
Well, you can log on to thepattersonfoundation.org, and then you'll see several initiatives. But when you get to our initiative, it says, would you like to volunteer? And it may be for pop-up laundry or any other thing, but since we're talking about pop-up, they could put that down, and one person on our team will reach out and let you know how you can help. And you can just say you want to volunteer, and we'll be in contact with whoever wants to volunteer. If they can only do Saturdays, we have something. If you can only do evenings, we have something for evenings. Mornings, we have something 24/7. We can find a time to work with you, and we were grateful for that.
Yes, there's lots of opportunities and ways to get involved. So if you're listening to this and you're interested and you want to walk away on a Saturday with your heart smiling, please do get involved. We would love to have you and your help participating.
An easy, actionable step is telling your network about what we do. If you are someone that works for a company that has like corporate responsibility programs, things like that, to pitch that to your company, to those programs, because there's really easy ways. It's not just you as a person coming volunteering, but you can get your whole office to volunteer and spread the word to people around you that have resources and the ability to help as well.
Kelly, thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today on Connecting Communities.
Thank you, Laurie.
Jason, thank you for taking the time to be with us and for the incredible work you continue to do, making the world a little brighter, one load at a time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for the encouragement and partnership.
To close, we wanted to leave you with this thought about today's subject from a kid in our region.
Connecting with kids.
Why do you think it's important to have clean laundry?
I found my man, Ben. I give him a slap high five and say, "Hey dude, why are you so stinking there?" And he goes, "Well, because I don't got clean laundry. I never wash it, and so everybody might think you're stinky, and you might get sick from that stinkiness. You cannot do soccer if you're sick. So that's why you have clean laundry, so that way you don't get sick or you don't smell horrible."
Connecting Communities is a Beyond the Blog podcast generously supported by the Patterson Foundation. If you'd like to learn more about this podcast or the work of the Patterson Foundation or the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading, please visit thepattersonfoundation.org and grade level reading suncoast.net. Thanks for listening.